Welcome to Business Over Brew. Nick Dar here with you again. Pleased to be joined in this episode by Ed Barrett, Barrett Heating and Cooling. Ed, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You guys have a long history over 125 years in business now. So
I think it's 127 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
talk a little bit about the history of the company and how it got started.
So my great-great-grandpa started it in 1896 as it was actually originally a sheet metal shop.
Right.
And then I think from the paperwork that my Uncle Jay had found, I think they started doing heating in 1906. And then I think in the 50s or 60s is when like my grandpa and my grandma bought my great uncle Eddie out of the business. And then that's whenever they started doing cooling. So my great uncle thought that cooling was just going to be like a fad thing that wasn't going to last, and it was just going to kind of
surely we're not so soft we're going to need air conditioning like this forever. Right? But
yeah. And then they took it over, and then my dad and his two brothers, Mike and Jay, and then his sister Chris bought into the business and took over. And then now it's my dad's still in it, and then Steve and Kelly and I are in it too, and then Chris just retired. So
family affair down there, though. It's been it's not one of those businesses that you bought from somebody else. It's been in your family for the whole time, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So most businesses don't make it past the 5-year mark. What do you think have been some of the key ingredients for making it as long as you guys have?
I think so whenever Jay and my dad and Chris and Mike all got into the business, they kind of divided it up. So my dad did installations, and then my Uncle Jay did all the sales, and then kind of handled like our training and everything. And then Chris just maintained like the accounts and just did like the office stuff. And then my Uncle Mike was in charge of just the service department and ordering parts and doing all that kind of stuff. So they each had their own it's like
really
section.
Clearly defined roles within the company, and that each person was taking accountability or responsibility for. It sounds like
so now we still have it kind of set up that way where so whenever Jay retired, I took over doing like the sales and kind of what he did, but luckily he still comes in like 3 days a week, so which is really nice because he'll run and get parts, and he lives over in St. Louis. So we have distributors over there a lot too. So he'll just run and get parts and stuff for that. And then if we need anything else, then he's there too. So
semi-retired, I guess would be.
Oh yeah. He's been semi-retired for, like 5 years.
Okay.
I think. So so it continued. Yeah. But he still comes in and everything too.
It's definitely the times I've been around, it seems like it's definitely owner operated though, because your dad's still down there and very hands-on in terms of it's definitely not you guys are there working in it every day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, in the trenches and doing the best that we can with everything. So
did you always think that it would be what you did, or was there maybe a different career path that you considered?
It's not what I thought. I thought I would maybe work down there, which I did during the summertime and stuff.
So did you start working there? Did you get put to work at a real young age, or? So
the reason I started working down there was I got in trouble at school, and I wanted to go and hang out with my friends, and my dad was like, no, well, you're grounded. And so I said, well, what if I work this summer and then I can go and hang out with my friends tonight? He was like, okay. So I started working that summer, and then on and off for a few years. And I had a bunch of other jobs too that I did.
Do you remember what the first job that you were doing down there was?
I stripped units. So like whenever we would do a new install, all the old equipment. So I would break down like the coil and then take the compressor out and all that stuff and cut everything up. And then because we scrapped and all that stuff too. So that was my first job. And then pretty much just being the gopher, just going and getting tools, stuff that the guys needed. So that was my main job.
Talk about the dynamics of working with family and how you guys have been able to manage that.
Well, some days are,
you don't manage it every day. I got it. Right.
Some days are better than others, but for the most part, we we get along, and it's,
Well, it seems like everybody's pretty level-headed down there too.
Oh.
Like there's not, I mean, just my impression anyway. I'm not there every day, obviously.
Oh yeah,
but...
no, it's really, actually, I think it goes really well. We don't ever take anything home or like anything like that. So
Right.
It just work, and our family's it's just kind of separate. We don't really ever have any arguments outside of. Actually, we really don't have arguments that much.
Right. So no frosty Thanksgiving dinners or anything like that.
Never,
so.
No.
Talk a little bit about just your guys' philosophy in dealing with the customer over the course of all these years.
So I think the main thing that we try to focus on is just making sure that doing the best that we can for the customer, making sure that, that their needs are met and that they are happy with what we do. And if they're not happy with something that we do, then we try our best to make it right. Or, we pretty much do whatever we have to do to make sure that the customer's happy. And
Right.
we just try our best to make sure that they're always satisfied and, trying to figure all that.
So you've been in it for a while now. What have been, some of the biggest evolutions? I know technology certainly evolved in every business, and I assume yours certainly as well. So talk about some of those changes that you've had to deal with.
Oh yeah. So the thermostats now are obviously smarter. So we had to, that's kind of a big change from going to like a mercury bulb thermostat to like what you have now, where it's all Wi-Fi and apps and all that stuff. So there's some different challenges in the setup for that, because like if the Wi-Fi goes out, then the thermostat goes out, and
it's not as easy. You just don't turn it like this anymore.
They still make those,
right?
The Honeywell turn, like the oh my gosh, the old like mercury bulb style ones.
Right.
But then like the refrigerant, they're changing that from 410 to 454B, and so that's going to be the big change this year, is that they're going to have to manufacture different equipment, and they have to put sensors into the equipment where it, so if you get a leak in the system, it senses that there's a leak. So it'll turn on the blower, and then it'll evacuate the refrigerant throughout the house, and instead of just letting it sit in one area. So that'll be a kind of a different change. And then, really the EPA had changed like the ratings of equipment too. So that was 2 years ago, and so the manufacturers had to make a bunch of changes for that, and now they're back on to changing it again. So it's just kind of every year it feels like there's something different going on,
right?
And that kind of stuff.
What have been some of the biggest challenges for the business since you've been involved in it?
I think, that's a good question. Probably just finding people that are going to show up to work.
Right. That dynamic certainly changed for most business. I mean, I hear that so often about finding good people and
finding good people, and then making sure it's crazy that just getting people to come into work is kind of a hassle sometimes. And then it's like, and so we have become, I think what the pandemic did is I think it made like businesses, when you're trying to find somebody, you're really just looking for, are they going to be reliable, and are they going to show up every day, and are they going to do what they are supposed to do, and, be good to the customers. Cause that's our main thing, is just treat the customers with respect, and, do what you have to do, and, make sure you go over everything with them. So that's kind of I think that would be our biggest challenge, is just people.
I think one of the biggest challenges there is just to try to, not lower your standards, because it has just been, it's more challenging to find, and I think that's almost across the board in every industry. Like there's not one that I'm talking to really. And I mean, I talk to business owners from all walks of life that really aren't struggling with that. So trying to balance that of, finding people and giving people opportunities, but also not lowering your standard that you've had for so long.
Yeah. And we haven't, and we found, some people we've hired, it hasn't worked out, and which is fine. But, the people that we have now, I think are really good. And I didn't go to school for it, but I just kind of learned on the job training, and I've gone to like different classes and stuff on getting like certifications and everything. So, that's kind of what we have some people that haven't gone to school for it, but they're learning on the job, and we're sending them to classes and they're learning everything that they need to do. And they're really good and they're really smart and they're technical, so they can figure out, different things, which is good.
Right. I think the other thing for your industry, especially, has been this, and then there's nothing wrong with college. I went to college, it's fine. But I think directionally, from a societal standpoint, going away from the trades maybe and more into the 4-year degree. That's been something that obviously I think has been a challenge for, anybody in the trades, I think.
Yeah. And I think, so I know that like Alton High, they have a really good program where they do like welding and different things like that. So they do have I like how Alton High has that, and, kind of can push some kids, because I hated school. I don't like, books, and just sitting in class is just not fun at all.
Sure. So, not for everybody.
Yeah. So I wish I would have gone to Rankin or something right out of school.
Right.
But I didn't do any like JB Johnson or anything whenever I was in high school or anything like that too. So
I think sometimes we try to force, for somebody like you that wasn't a good fit. Yeah. But we try to push that. Not we, but I mean, it gets pushed.
I gave it a run. I mean, I went for it, but I just.
But I think for the person out there that's mechanically inclined, or not somebody that loves traditional academic learning, it's a great opportunity from a career standpoint.
They we get a lot of people from like military that go into like trades and stuff like that, which is awesome. But I don't know why that there was just like a big push to go to a 4-year university, and not, like trades are important. You have to have them, carpenters and
oftentimes
all that kind of
better
stuff.
paying jobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can you can do a 2-year degree and have it, come out, and people are looking for good people to hire, so you can find a job pretty easily. And then, you go to a 4-year college, and it's like, well, now what am I
now what I do? Right. That was kind of me. That's how you end up in radio.
So my dad actually went to Carbondale, and he was in, he did, the broadcasting and stuff like that. And
he's done some games for us here on the radio in the past, and done PA, I know, for a number of years. So
he loves it. He has a good time.
He's still a radio broadcaster at heart. Maybe someday we'll get him out of the heating and cooling industry and into the radio industry full time.
He used to DJ and air on the radio station and stuff too. So you love doing that. But he looks forward to doing the football games all the time. So.
Have there been some mentors along the way, aside from your family members, that have helped you out? Or has it been mostly? I mean, mostly it's probably been.
It's mostly been my Uncle Jay and my dad, and then I have a couple other friends that are in the industry too. So I mean, really, I'll talk to other people. We go to all these classes and stuff, and so you meet different dealers, and like. Everybody has the same issue. It's like people, and then
regulations, and you're right. Yeah.
And then like our our distributors too. They offer so much insight into different things, and kind of can give you different perspectives on stuff too, which is always really exciting.
Right. For you personally, where do you see the next 3 to 5 years? And then for the business, the same question.
So. For me,
hopefully you're not going to select this time to resign your position.
Oh no! Oh gosh, no! No! I'm in it for the long haul. So 3 years for me is just kind of building, getting it. That's a really good question. Really just trying to figure out what's going to happen next year with like the pricing and all that kind of stuff, and then just trying to figure out, like where we, how we go from the new standard and keep it going, and just maintaining everybody being happy.
It's kind of a big responsibility, I would think, of having 125 years, multi-generational business, and not that it all falls on your shoulders, but I mean, it is. I feel that as somebody who, the radio station's been around since 1948. There's been a lot of other people involved in it, and I do feel that responsibility of, stewarding it to. What happens even after I'm gone, which is hopefully going to be a long time from now. But that's certainly something I don't know that that's something you've thought about or considered, but it's kind of you definitely want to keep this business going.
Oh yeah. We because we have, so Steve's daughter, who's one of the owners, she works down there, and then her Kara, and then her boyfriend Dylan work down there.
Right.
And so, you know, keeping it going for them, and then just planning for like the next generation to take over and is really important. And then because we want to keep it in the family, and we want to make sure that we're providing that good service to everybody, and just maintaining the positive vibe that we have with everybody.
What advice would you have for maybe somebody either just getting started in business or somebody that's thinking about doing that?
Get good people around you that, you know, that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of, and make sure, you know, you have your business plan and that you're going to stick to that, and really just put people first, I think is kind of is a really good thing too, because they remember that, you know, because we go out, you know, middle of the night and gas leaks and stuff like that. And, you know, we're got to do a good job. And so we just try to do our best.
If people want to find out more about Barrett Heating and Cooling, where can they do that?
We can go to our website at barrettheatingandcooling.com. Really our website. And then we have a Facebook page too. And it's just Barrett Heating and Cooling, Inc. And that's it.
All right, Ed. Hey, Ed, thanks for coming on the show. I mean, congratulations on the success of the business, and 120 some odd years is an amazing accomplishment. Congratulations. Thanks for all you guys do in the community, and continued success over the next 120 some odd more years, I guess. So thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.